welcome. Katie here. Thanks so much for joining me on the Imagine Crafts YouTube channel. Today I've got a really simple watercolor spring card for you, springtime. But of course you can put any sentiment that you like on it. The color palette is more springy, so pinkies, purples, greens, that kind of stuff, light greens or olive greens, if you will. I'm going to be using some Walnut Inks, and if you don't have those, that's okay. You can use like distress stains, any type of spray ink, watercolor, liquid watercolors. You could even do this technique with watercolors. So, the pigment, watercolors. So I've got some Willow, Cherry Blossom, and Lilac Walnut Ink, and some Sheer Shimmer Sparkle Spray. You don't need to use the sparkle spray. I'm just throwing it in there to give it a little something extra. You could just use water for this. In fact, you don't have to use water at all. I just wanted to add in some shimmer because these are liquid, so you don't have to add any additional. Now, if you want to thin the color, make it a little bit softer, then of course you want to add a little bit of water to your paintbrush. That way you're going to get a softer color. You can dry, build it up, that sort of thing. The stamp set that I'm going to use are two, actually. This is the lovely silhouettes from the Greetery. I've used this a couple times on Imagine's channel, but I love the silhouette because this can be colored. You can either do it black like you see here, or you can color it, which is what we're going to do today. The next one is just for the sentiments, and you can see that here. It's the Spring Snowdrops from the Greetery, but I'm just using the spring text or sentiment, and hope brings hope anew. So I'm going to use a stamp positioner. This, I think, actually is probably the most important piece, is any type of stamp positioner. Doesn't have to be the Stampwheel 2.0 or a Stampwheel period. Any stamp positioner, simply because we're going to be going in and doing stamping several times, and you don't want to not be able to line up where you're going. So let's hop down, which you're probably seeing all that already, and grab a piece of watercolor paper. This is cut, I don't know, I might have trimmed this other one, taken some edges off. I did a little test run to see how it would work, and I think, yeah, it looks like I trimmed it down height-wise, probably by 1/8 of an inch. So I cut a piece of 5 by 7.5, so it was a 3.5 by 5, and so, well, maybe I grabbed the wrong one, now that I think of it. Let me check something, because I'm going to use a piece of fog cardstock to go behind it. So basically it's going to look like this. You're going to get a peek at what it's going to look like, and then I'm going to bring it up here. This is just Nina's natural cardstock, 100-pound cardstock. And let's just do this here. And it might have been why it was goofing me up, because it is why I was gooping me up, because I was going to layer it like this, but this I did a test on because I got some schmutz on it. So I figure, well, I won't waste it, and maybe I can cover it up. I think we could still do that. We'll see. So let me get my scoreboard, and we'll get a better idea what this is, if it's still 3.5. So yeah, it's still 3.5. Okay, so yeah, a little bit shorter than 5 inches, but you can certainly go easy 3.5 by 5. I'm not sure why I trimmed this. Maybe because of the size of this panel, it looked awkward. At that point, I hadn't done the stamping to see where I wanted to line it up, and I think it looks pretty like that with a border on the sides and the bottom. So either way is going to work. We're going to go with the smaller one because I need to show you the technique. So enough rambling. Let's get going. Okay. Let's take this out of the way for a minute. We're just going to put our cardstock down. Now I'm going to lay both my floral and my sentiment, because that will give me spacing. So if I need to shift this over some, and the sentiment's not going to get into the way of anything, even when we're using our paintbrush. And I am using a watercolor brush. This one is from Creative Mark, but I'm just going to dab that. But whatever you got. In fact, you could probably use an acrylic brush for this, you know, in those package sets. So you don't need anything fancy to make this happen. You just need some liquid color. And you will be good to go. Okay, so this requires so little color. I'm going to move this over here. And I'm actually going to start with the Willow, because that can get a little crazy. And it's going to be hard to see, especially on my stamp, because it's kind of dirty. Even that's more stain than anything. So, you know, that's way far up. I didn't realize it was that far up. Here, let me do another one, and we'll bring it down some. You can see it right here up at the edge, but let's bring it to where you might really be able to see it. Okay, so you just a little. I wouldn't even spray it, because you're going to spray more than you need. Now this I will spray. And just a squirt. You don't need anything major on that either. Now I'm going to wet my brush just to get the, you know, the brushes, the bristles with water. And then, make sure you guys can see this, I'm just going to paint. And like I said, it's going to be hard to see until we stamp. So when you're doing it, just be mindful of that it might be a little bit more difficult to see. But if you get a little paint everywhere, you're going to be fine. And if you kind of, you know, like these, I'm going to color these little stems purple, the tips of them. So, you know, you might find that you get a little bit heavy-handed up towards the tips. So try to be mindful of where, and you might have to look at your packaging depending on what you're using, so you don't go too far. And like there, I might have gone too far in there. You can use a little Q-tip or something to get that out. And you can always go back. That's what's great about the stamp positioner. So if, you know, you go and stamp and you realize, oh, I missed the middle, you know, because you think you got it, you're going to be able to go back in and add it in. Now, in my test, one of the things I didn't do, and I actually did a double on the pink, was because I didn't dry in between. So when I did the green, I just went right into the pink and right into the purple after the pink. I'm going to dry this time in between. That way you won't get any bleed. So, you know, bringing that green right up to the tip of these, you can see it in the purple. Bring it close. You can see it in the purple that it, you know, flowed into it. So my recommendation, a little hair dryer is all you need to just dry it in between. And you can use low. The thing too with this is that you don't need to apply a ton. You don't want the ink or water or whatever the liquid that you're using to pool up on the stamp. So don't gob it up on there. You want it to be subtle, and you can always build up on it. But if it's gobbed up on there, it's going to be gobbed up on your paper. And when you go to dry, you're going to risk blowing it all over the place, and you don't need to do that. Now I'm going to wipe this off so that we don't get bleed through. Get this out of here, and we'll just use our same place for our palette. So let's come in with, you know what, I think I'm going to go with purple next. Again, you don't need a ton, just a couple of drips. A little spritz of sparkle. Get that green off there. You can't see it, but right above me, I've got that little plastic palette. If you've caught my last video, I never know when these videos are going to go. So, I just use a little plastic palette. I think I got it from the dollar store, just to hold a little water, a couple wells, so that I can clean my my brush. That way I'm not making mud. All right, so we're going to come up here to the top. Be mindful of just those tips. And because we dried, we should be okay, where we shouldn't get... It does reactivate because, you know, it's water-based. But it should be okay to not bleed over onto what you've put on there already, the green that we put on already. And if it's not, you know, hey, that's what makes it more organic. Okay, I want to just clean this off real quick, and then we'll hit the hairdryer with it. All right. So get that out of there. Okay, little hairdryer. And what I like about this, and if you do it on low, you know, the Ranger heat tool, probably a great thing for this, because you can get close on the low heat and it's not going to blow your water everywhere. And I might have to come back in. I think I did miss the stem here, so I'm going to, when I stamp again, I'm going to look at that and see. I see a little fade here that I may have not gotten enough paint, watercolor or whatever on that. All right. Okay, pink, 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 little cherry blossom. Great for the spring. When we lived in Maryland, you always knew spring was here because of the cherry blossoms. All right. All right, just a little bit. Now this one is like a bigger surface, so when I was doing my test, I did find that it pulled up with the color more, just unavoidable. So you just want to be mindful if you're using a solid stamp that has a big solid surface or a bigger solid surface, that it'll pull up more. So hold it on a little longer, which is what I'm doing, and you can probably see as that thing pops up that it flexes out. So just lift it slow, and that'll pull it on there. And I'm going to take it off. And I probably am going to do that one again, just because you're going to see, you can kind of see how light that is. We'll see what it looks like once we get it dry. And we can go again in with the purple too. I think since I got my pink out, let's do that first. And we'll get around on the bottom. Okay. And watercolor paper, that's what I recommend, especially because you can hold this down and eventually that water is going to saturate in that spot and absorb that ink down. So And, you know, watercoloring is all about an impression, you know, and the idea of, so, you know, it's okay to keep it soft and light. It doesn't have to be so bold and realistic, and also kind of gappy. So, you know, if you miss spots, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I could do second generation stamping. All right, so that is the finished. I think that's pretty, and the sparkle is subtle. A little shimmer. And I always mention this in the videos because you're probably wondering, why on earth are you using a charging plug? Any straight edge. I don't have a block that's handy, my straight edge blocks. Rounded stuff doesn't work that great to cut the tape like this if you want to have a clean line. But any straight edge will. Your ink pads, all that stuff, those will work. And I'm going to grab my just so I got a straight edge to butt this up against. Looks pretty even to me. Close enough, I guess. Maybe a little shift over, but that's okay. All right, now let's grab tape for this. Just because, you know, when you're getting in with the lining up with in a weird location that you're not used to, which I'm not used to this, doing it up at the top, just gives you a little security that everything's gonna stay in place where you need it when you need it. Let's grab this. It's hard to see because we're right there in the thing, but this one's just got a tiny border, like 1/8 of an inch, so makes it a little harder to get so you don't go over too far. Okay, there we go. Now in this, even though it's cream color, I would probably put a couple pieces of you know, white layering paper, ivory layering paper, or something in there, which is just like a 65-pound cardstock, just to have put my sentiment on. It just cleans it up. It adds a little bit of something on the inside with your sentiment. But that wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.